In our last study, we discussed the formation of two plans, which we often experience in our minds when we are confronted with something and considering what action to take in connection therewith. We identified them as Plan A and Plan B. Plan A refers to God's way, which is by faith, and Plan B refers to man's way, which is by reason. I would like to share with you now from Dr. Anderson's teaching the origin of Plan B thoughts. There are three primary sources. First, the flesh, which we have already addressed, the way you were trained to live before you became a Christian. When you accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior and became a Christian, you brought with you into your new life of faith all the old Plan B habits and thought patterns of the flesh. So now, while your new self desires to live dependent upon God and follow Plan A, your flesh persists in suggesting Plan B ways to live independent of God. Your flesh still generates humanistic thoughts and ideas. Secondly, we are continually being influenced by this fallen world. The mass media and the worldly environment are dominated by Plan B thinking. And thirdly, the god of this world, Satan, and his demons are actively involved in trying to distract you from your walk of faith by peppering your mind with his thoughts and ideas. He is relentless in his attempts to establish negative, worldly patterns of thought into your mind, which will in turn produce negative, worldly patterns of behavior. He is the father of lies, and he will attempt to accuse, deceive, and tempt God's children just as he did Eve if we let him. In addition, false prophets, teachers, mediums, and spiritists will also lead many astray. The essence of the battle for the mind is the conflict between Plan A and Plan B impulses from the world, the flesh, and the devil. Now, once your consideration of a temptation triggers an emotional response leading to a Plan B choice, you will act upon that choice and own that behavior. You may resent your actions or claim you are not responsible for what you do. However, you are responsible for your actions at this stage because you will have failed to take a tempting thought captive when it first appeared at the threshold of your mind. People who study human behavior tell us that if you continue to repeat an act for 6 weeks, you will form a habit. And if you exercise that habit long enough, a stronghold will be established. And once a stronghold of thought and response is entrenched in your mind, your ability to choose to act contrary to that pattern is very difficult. It is like driving an old truck down the same dirt road for so long that deep ruts are established. After a while, you won't even have to steer the truck. It will naturally stay in the ruts of the road, and any attempts to steer out of them will be met with resistance. In our next study, we will see and take a look at strongholds in detail.